Did you know that women's sexual desire is influenced by their sense of smell? Or that they can experience multiple orgasms in a single session? Female sexuality is one of the most complex and intriguing aspects of human nature. While men's arousal is often straightforward, women's desires, biology, and psychology are deeply interconnected, influenced by hormones, emotions, and even social conditioning. Today, we're uncovering 5 surprising facts about female sexuality, some of which might completely change the way you understand attraction, pleasure, and intimacy. So, if you ever wonder what really turns women on, how their bodies respond to desire, or why their sexuality changes over time, stick around, because what you're about to learn might surprise you. Fact 1. Women's sexual desire fluctuates throughout the month. One of the most fascinating aspects of female sexuality is how much it changes throughout the month. Unlike men, whose testosterone levels remain relatively stable, women's libido is directly influenced by their menstrual cycle. This means their level of desire isn't the same every day. It fluctuates based on hormone levels, especially estrogen and testosterone. How ovulation affects attraction and desire. During ovulation, the phase when a woman is most fertile, her body naturally increases estrogen and testosterone levels. This can lead to a noticeable spike in sexual desire. Studies have shown that during this time, women may feel more attracted to masculine features, such as strong jawlines and deep voices, show increased interest in dominant or confident men, experience heightened sensitivity to touch and scent, particularly to the natural body odor of men with different immune system genes, which can subconsciously signal compatibility for reproduction. Interestingly, ovulation isn't just about physical attraction. Many women also feel more social, outgoing, and flirtatious during this phase, often without even realizing why. How birth control can change attraction. Here's where it gets even more intriguing. Birth control pills can actually alter natural attraction patterns. Since hormonal contraceptives suppress ovulation by regulating estrogen and progesterone levels, they can also affect how women experience desire and attraction. Some studies suggest that women on birth control may prefer men with softer, more nurturing features rather than highly masculine ones. Others report a lower overall sex drive, since testosterone levels remain more stable when taking hormonal contraceptives. Women who start or stop birth control while in a relationship may even notice a shift in how attracted they feel to their partner. This fluctuation in desire throughout the month explains why some women may feel incredibly passionate one week, but have little interest in sex the next. It's not a lack of attraction, it's biology at work. Understanding these natural changes can help both women and their partners navigate intimacy more effectively, recognizing that desire isn't just about mood. It's deeply connected to hormonal rhythms. Fact 2. Women experience arousal differently than men. One of the biggest misconceptions about female sexuality is that it works the same way as male sexuality. The truth is, women's arousal is often responsive rather than spontaneous, meaning it doesn't always appear out of nowhere. It builds over time with the right emotional and physical stimulation. Spontaneous versus responsive desire. Men typically experience spontaneous desire, meaning they can become aroused quickly and without much external stimulation. Women, on the other hand, often experience responsive desire, which means their arousal develops in response to touch, emotional connection, or sensual atmosphere, rather than appearing instantly. Sexual interest may not always come before physical arousal. Sometimes the body responds first, and the desire follows. Factors like stress, emotional security, and relationship dynamics play a bigger role in whether a woman feels turned on. This is why foreplay is often more important for women than men. It helps create the right conditions for arousal to develop. Psychological arousal versus physical stimulation. Another key difference is that women's arousal is highly influenced by their minds. While physical touch is important, psychological arousal plays an even bigger role. This includes emotional intimacy. Women tend to feel more aroused when they feel connected, valued, and secure with their partner. Fantasy and mental stimulation. Reading erotic stories, engaging in deep conversations, or even simply feeling desire can heighten arousal. Context matters. Unlike men, whose desire can be triggered easily, women's arousal depends on environment, mood, and personal comfort level. This explains why women may not feel instantly turned on by their partner coming home and initiating sex. If they're stressed, distracted, or emotionally disconnected, their arousal might take longer to develop. Women's brains react to a wider range of sexual stimuli. Studies using brain imaging have revealed that women's brains react to a more diverse range of sexual stimuli than men's. This means women may be aroused by a variety of scenarios and situations, even ones they wouldn't actively seek out. Their sexual preferences can be more fluid, meaning they may find different things attractive depending on mood, hormones, or life experiences. Certain non-physical factors, like voice, scent, or confidence, can have just as strong an effect as physical touch. In short, female arousal is deeply complex. It's not just about what happens physically, but also what's happening in the mind and emotions. Understanding this can help both women and their partners navigate intimacy more effectively, creating more fulfilling and satisfying connections. Fact 3. The female orgasm is more complex than you think. When it comes to orgasms, female pleasure is far more intricate than most people realize. Unlike men who typically experience a single climax followed by a refractory period, women have the ability to experience multiple types of orgasms, can orgasm more than once in a single session, and often find emotional connection enhances their pleasure. Different types of female orgasms. Women's bodies are designed for various types of orgasms, and each one can feel distinct in intensity, duration, and sensation. The 4 primary types include clitoral orgasm, the most common and easiest to achieve. The clitoris has over 8,000 nerve endings, more than any other part of the human body, making it a highly sensitive pleasure center. Stimulation of the clitoris can lead to a sharp, intense orgasm, often described as a tingling wave of pleasure. Vaginal orgasm. While the vaginal canal itself has fewer nerve endings, stimulation of the G-spot, located inside the front wall of the vagina, can trigger deep, internal orgasms. These orgasms are often described as more intense and long-lasting. Blended orgasm. This occurs when a woman experiences both clitoral and vaginal stimulation simultaneously, leading to a much more powerful climax. Many women report blended orgasms as the most pleasurable. Full-body orgasm. Unlike localized orgasms, a full-body orgasm spreads waves of pleasure throughout the body. These orgasms can last longer, involve deep muscle contractions, and even create a feeling of euphoria or emotional release. The ability to have multiple orgasms. One of the most fascinating aspects of female sexuality is the ability to experience multiple orgasms in a single session. Unlike men, who typically require a recovery period after ejaculation, women can have back-to-back orgasms without needing to stop. This is due to a shorter or non-existent refractory period. Women's bodies don't require the same recovery time as men's, allowing them to continue experiencing pleasure after an orgasm. Increased sensitivity. After an orgasm, some women become even more sensitive, making it easier to reach another climax. Proper stimulation and relaxation. With continued physical and mental arousal, women can transition smoothly from one orgasm to the next. Some women experience rolling orgasms, where they feel multiple waves of pleasure building and crashing without a clear stopping point, leading to extended states of ecstasy. Emotional connection enhances female orgasms. Unlike men, whose orgasms are mostly physical responses, a woman's ability to climax is closely tied to her emotions and psychological state. Studies show that emotional connection can make orgasms more intense and fulfilling. Women who feel deeply connected to their partner often report stronger, more pleasurable orgasms, reduce stress and mental blocks. Feeling safe and emotionally supported helps women relax, making it easier to reach climax. Increase overall satisfaction. Sexual pleasure is not just about the physical act, but also about feeling desired, appreciated, and emotionally engaged. In fact, research suggests that many women struggle to orgasm due to anxiety, stress, or lack of emotional intimacy, rather than physical issues. This is why foreplay, affectionate touch, and emotional bonding are key factors in enhancing female pleasure. Final thoughts on the complexity of female orgasms. The female orgasm isn't just a physical event. It's an intricate experience influenced by mind, body, and emotions. With the right stimulation, mental engagement, and emotional connection, women can experience a range of powerful orgasms, sometimes in succession, creating deeper levels of pleasure and satisfaction. Understanding this complexity can lead to better intimacy, stronger relationships, and a greater appreciation for the depth of female sexuality. Fact 4. Women's sexual preferences evolve with age. Sexuality isn't static. It grows and transforms over time. A woman's desires, confidence, and preferences often shift as she ages, leading to changes in libido, attraction, and overall satisfaction. While the common belief is that sexual interest declines with age, many women actually report an increase in sexual desire in their 30s and 40s compared to their 20s. Increased libido in the 30s and 40s. While men typically experience peak testosterone levels in their early 20s, many women report that their sex drive actually increases in their 30s and 40s. Research suggests this could be due to several factors. Hormonal changes. While estrogen levels gradually decline with age, testosterone remains stable or even slightly increases, leading to a heightened sex drive. Greater self-awareness. By their 30s and 40s, many women have a better understanding of their bodies and what brings them pleasure. Biological motivation. Some evolutionary theories suggest that, as women near the end of their most fertile years, their bodies naturally increase libido to encourage reproduction before fertility declines. This shift explains why many women in their late 30s and early 40s report having the best sex of their lives. They feel more comfortable with their bodies, have a better sense of what they enjoy, and are often in relationships where they can openly communicate their desires. Confidence in expressing desires. As women age, they tend to become more assertive about their needs and less influenced by societal expectations. In their 20s, many women may feel pressured to conform to certain ideas of sexuality or be hesitant to ask for what they want. But as they mature, they communicate more openly. Instead of prioritizing their partner's pleasure, they become more comfortable expressing what feels good for them. They embrace their bodies. With age, many women develop body confidence and stop worrying about unrealistic beauty standards. This self-acceptance leads to greater relaxation and enjoyment in intimate experiences. They focus on quality over quantity. Rather than just seeking physical pleasure, women often prioritize deeper emotional and sexual connections. This newfound confidence often leads to more fulfilling and enjoyable sex lives, as women feel empowered to explore their desires without shame or hesitation. Post-menopause. How sexual pleasure changes. A common misconception is that sexual pleasure declines after menopause, but for many women, this isn't true. While hormonal shifts can bring changes, such as vaginal dryness or reduced sensitivity, many women report having more fulfilling sexual experiences post-menopause. Here's why. Less stress about pregnancy. With fertility no longer a concern, women often feel more relaxed and free to enjoy sex without worry. Emotional depth increases. Many postmenopausal women say their sexual relationships become deeper and more meaningful, as they are based on emotional intimacy rather than just physical attraction. Experience leads to greater pleasure. With age comes a deeper understanding of what brings pleasure and how to communicate it to a partner. Some women may experience physical changes that require adjustments, such as using lubricants or focusing more on foreplay, but these adaptations often lead to a richer, more intimate connection rather than a decrease in desire. Final thoughts on evolving sexual preferences. A woman's sexuality is dynamic and ever-changing, from increased libido in her 30s and 40s to newfound confidence in expressing her desires, and even the deep emotional connections formed in later years. Sexual pleasure can improve with age rather than diminish. By understanding and embracing these changes, women can continue to experience satisfying and fulfilling intimacy throughout their lives. Fact 5. Women are more likely to be sexually fluid. Sexuality is not always black and white, especially for women. Research shows that women are more likely than men to experience sexual fluidity, meaning their attraction, desires, and preferences can shift over time. Unlike the rigid categories often applied to male sexuality, female desire is more flexible, influenced by emotional bonds, life experiences, and even social environments. Studies show women are more open to same-sex attraction. Scientific research consistently finds that women are more likely than men to experience attraction to both genders, even if they primarily identify as heterosexual. Some key findings include a study by Dr. Lisa Diamond, a psychologist specializing in sexual fluidity, found that many women report changes in their sexual attractions throughout their lives. Some women who previously identified as straight later experience same-sex attraction, while others who once identified as lesbian develop feelings for men. A study published in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology found that women's sexual preferences are more flexible than men's. Even women who exclusively date men often acknowledge same-sex attractions or fantasies. Researchers have found that sexual orientation in women is less about fixed labels and more about deep emotional and psychological connections. This means that for many women, sexuality isn't about fitting into a single category, but rather an evolving experience influenced by relationships, emotions, and personal growth. Emotional bonds play a key role in female attraction. One of the most fascinating aspects of female sexual fluidity is that women's attraction is often driven by emotional bonds rather than just physical appearance. Unlike men, whose desire is typically more visual and immediate, women's sexual attraction tends to develop over time, often influenced by deep connections. This can lead to women developing romantic or sexual feelings for close female friends, even if they never identified as bisexual or lesbian. Shifts in attraction due to life experiences, such as breakups, self-discovery, or changes in personal beliefs. A broader range of desire, where emotional intimacy enhances sexual attraction regardless of gender. Because of this, it's common for women's preferences to shift over time, depending on the relationships and experiences they encounter. Even straight women can have same-sex fantasies or desires. A surprising fact is that many women who identify as straight report having same-sex fantasies, desires, or even experiences. Studies suggest that over 60% of straight-identifying women have had same-sex fantasies at some point in their lives. Many straight women report finding other women physically attractive, even if they don't actively seek same-sex relationships. Some women experience situational attraction, where they develop same-sex feelings in specific circumstances, such as deep friendships or emotionally intense moments. Unlike men, whose sexuality tends to be more fixed, women's desires often exist on a spectrum, allowing for more exploration and flexibility over time. Final thoughts on female sexual fluidity. Women's sexuality is complex and ever-evolving. Attraction is not always a fixed trait. It can change based on emotions, life experiences, and personal growth. The idea that women are either straight, bisexual, or lesbian in rigid terms doesn't fully capture the reality of female desire. Understanding sexual fluidity allows women to embrace their desires without shame, explore connections authentically, and recognize that sexuality is a deeply personal journey rather than a static label. So, what did we learn? Female sexuality isn't just about biology. It's about hormones, emotion, psychology, and social conditioning all working together. From fluctuating desire to the ability to experience multiple orgasms, women's sexual responses are far more dynamic than most people assume. What was the most surprising fact for you? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into female sexuality, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more fascinating content. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.